Some anthropologists suggest that humans first settled North America about 12,000 years ago, when they crossed a land bridge from Asia at the Bering Strait. These first Americans developed civilizations which relied on the elements from the earth, sun, wind, fire, flora, and fauna. When Columbus landed in America, there were 60 million buffalo living on the Great Plains of North America. There were no fences, no highways, no electricity or running water. The Plains Indians relied on the buffalo for many of their necessities. There was a balance between their consumption and the environment around them. Indians were the first environmentalists, living by the great law of the Iroquois, which said, "In every deliberation we must consider the impact on the seventh generation, even if it requires having skin as thick as the bark of a pine." In 1869, America celebrated the completion of the Continental Railroad with the driving of the Golden Spike at Promontory Point, Utah. This was almost 400 years after Columbus first set foot on American soil. Progress took a slow path during that 400-year period, but in the last century, things accelerated rapidly. Today, the Great Plains is a far different place than it was. High-rise buildings punch the sky in dozens of cities from Minneapolis to Houston. Farmers plow fields on their diesel-powered tractors where buffalo once roamed. Semi-trucks and cars crowd and crisscross the region where deer trails once paved the way for human foot traffic. We have punctured the earth with fields of oil wells which have come and gone as we built our industrial might. Abandoned mine shafts stand as reminders of the valuable resources which were found here deep beneath the earth's surface, from sea to shining sea. We have expanded our sprawling suburbs far and wide on cheap and abundant oil, but that cheap oil is rapidly coming to an end. This is the North American Great Plains. It is the breadbasket of America and one of the richest and most productive farm regions of the world. It is also the windiest place on the planet, endowed with enough wind power capacity to supply our energy needs many times over. Today, descendants of the first Americans still maintain their heritage on the plains as members of tribes like the Sioux, the Crow, Comanche, Arapaho, Blackfoot, and many others. As a population, they have the highest percentage of participation in the armed forces of the United States. And as a people, they still remind us of the law of the seventh generation. From the land we call North America, humans migrated south to occupy South America and places like the Atacama Desert located in northern Chile. With over 350 days of sunshine, it is the sunniest and driest place on Earth. It has not rained there in recorded history. The Atacama Desert is so dry that it prevents the normal decay of the human body after death, and many remains of past inhabitants have been preserved and found, like this pre-Columbian female mummy dated from 1000 AD. Like the Great Plains, the Atacama Desert is now developed, with coastal cities like Antofagasta, places like Chuquicamata and Pisagua. Modern technology combined with hydrocarbon fuel has supported the expansion of the human footprint. Copper mining, a critical industry in the global shift to sustainability, is the primary employer in the Atacama. The giant Escondida turns out 7% of the total world's copper supply. With all of the mines combined, the Atacama Desert region produces 36% of all the world's copper. Just as the Great Plains of North America is the food basket of the world, the Atacama Desert is the copper capital of the world. Both are critical to our survival. Ironically, the Great Plains has the greatest wind resource on the planet, The Atacama is recognized to have the most abundant and reliable solar energy resource anywhere on Earth. Clearly, the Earth and our human civilization is entering another period of dramatic change. How did we get to this point? What resources and systems did it take to get us where we are? With the end of the age of oil appearing on the horizon, how will we continue to exist within the means provided to us by resources and elements in the future? What are those resources and what technologies and companies will be the leaders in this transformation? What must we do collectively and individually to navigate this transition successfully? Will civilization make it? How will historians view the coming decades 100 years from now? Stay tuned, because the story you are about to hear is a story that historians will read in 100 years about the end of oil, the return of prosperity, and the rise of a sustainable civilization from the Great Plains and the Atacama Desert.